Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get started. What I'll do is I'll share my screen. Let's do this. Okay, great. Oh, interesting. I thought I had it open. I guess I don't have it open. All right. Okay, so welcome to today's class. What we're going to go over is pretty much a cornerstone of getting started with Command. I have not taught a lot on this, and I just kind of realized with helping a lot of people that it may be good to kind of go over, how we actually get started with using Command and getting things set up. And so that's what I'm going to go through today. Some of you probably already have a lot of this stuff, but I'm just going to go through like some of the things that you should check for to make sure that you're doing everything as well as possible. I'm also going to go through some of the applications that Command has that we can connect to, and kind of give an explanation of what they are and what they should be doing for you. And then you can decide if you want to use them for your business. All right, so without further ado, we go ahead and get started. So, excuse me, the best way to really do this is to go ahead and click on your top right, and it'll be under your name with your picture. Some people may not have uploaded a picture just yet. And you can click on settings. And so once we click on settings, we will see over on the left side, there are a bunch of drop-down menus, and in this screen right here on the right side, you're essentially seeing your general settings. Okay, and so at the top it says more integrations, and so essentially what that is this is more apps that you can take advantage of. And if we click on the more apps, excuse me, this is going to take us to the KW Metro Center, or the KW Marketplace. And essentially this marketplace is going to be kind of like our Google Store or Apple App Store, where there's one place we can go to get all the applications, all of the smart plans, all of that stuff that we want to download through KWRI or even upload. If you have something that you feel worthwhile, and let's say you have a great smart plan that's helped you sell lots of real estate, and you want to share that, you can upload that all as well to the marketplace. And so this marketplace over here, we'll see the categories on the left side of all of the different apps that are available to us. And so we're just going to click through a couple of them just so you'll get a feel of what's available to you. And so one of them that I thought was interesting is this repair estimate report. And so when you do a home inspection, you can download this to your Command. And what it'll do is it'll look at your report, and it'll ask you a few questions about, what your clients are looking to do. And they can give you an estimate of what it would cost, like the average of what it would cost in your area to repair, certain things. And so that's a really good app that I think that would be worthwhile if you're, very new to the business and you don't have an idea of what certain things may cost, or even if you've been in the business for a while, but maybe you haven't run into someone wanting to replace floors or hardwood floors or what have you. You can put that in and get a sense of what that would cost, and then that's going to look like, make you look that much more professional and knowledgeable to your clients. Another thing that you'll find here is a Command email. We'll go over that a little bit more in the future, because there is a Command email that's already set up for you, and so we'll discuss that in the future in this class, but in a few minutes. Transaction management. So if you click on that, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you can see that some of these are going to be the same, like American Title, Dot Loop. They're all going to kind of go through. So you'll see what's coming soon, syncs and integrations. Let's see, collaboration and productivity. Um, so one thing that I was going to show you, and I think, yeah. So I think that what you'll see is there's some training that you can actually get. So there's some one-on-one training. So if you're not able to get in contact with me, or you feel like you need someone that you want to pay someone to actually help you set up your command and help you maximize it for your business, there are different packages that you can pay for. But what this is it would be a one-on-one guided tour of how to do that for either agents or for teams. And so they have a package starting at $39.99, and I think it goes up to, it looks like it's $200 would be that. So so they have all of these, and you can just click on them and pay for them, and then they'll set up an appointment with you to kind of walk you through how to set it up and how to use it to support your business best. So I'm not going to go through all of these. You can click through them. There's a whole bunch. If you need coaching and training, those command classes, pop back up. They also have the maps coaching online, so you can, click on that. So yeah, definitely go through this and, kind of play with it and see what works best for your business. So when we come back to the settings page, you'll see that there are a host of applications that are already here. And the ones that you're already connected to, they're going to show at the top under applications, connected apps. And so I've got a bunch of these already connected. So one of the bigger ones everyone probably knows is DocuSign. There is a love-hate relationship with DocuSign, and depending on who you talk to, some people love it, some people hate it. And that's why, we have multiple different connections for command. And so you can also use .loop, and that can be connected to your command. What I would recommend is if you're connecting one, don't connect the other. Because a lot of times things could get lost in translation with the tool. And so if you are a .loop user, you can connect. Now, obviously, I'm not using my I'm not using my own device because I have both of these connected. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this account, my .loop account. And so now we're back down to just having this one electronic signature platform. So I have DocuSign connected. That's the platform for getting your documents downloaded from the board that you belong to and filled in and signed by your clients. One thing for you to know, there's some more rigor that's being applied through all of the tools. And so what we're seeing across all of the platforms is everybody's moving to applying the rule that the boards have handed down. And so we in the DC metropolitan area, we're going to be hit the hardest by this because we have agents in all of our offices that sell in DC, Virginia, and Maryland. And so in the past, we were able to be a part of one board. So let's say you started selling in Virginia. So you're a part of the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, or NVAR. And then let's say you wanted to get a license in DC or Maryland. Well, then you'd go ahead and get those licenses. And because you had the licenses, you were able to sell and show houses there. And back when we were using .loop, we were able to download the forms. And so now all of the boards are not happy about that. And so what they're doing is they're asking all of the platforms to not allow us to have the documents if you're not a part of the board. And so essentially what happens is if you sell in Virginia, DC, and Maryland, you have to be a part of those boards to actually download the documents. And it's a secondary membership that you're going to be getting. And so essentially the way that it works is you would go, and our offices are going to have like a whole email that's going to be sent out once we figure out what the costs are and what the processes are, to help guide you through this. But, this is some things that we're going to be seeing, moving forward. And just so something to keep in the back of your mind, is that if you're not a part of a board, it's going to be very hard for you to get those documents. But we're working with people on a case-by-case basis to try to get them the documents in the meantime until we can get everyone fully transitioned over, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we can definitely discuss your situation. So that's DocuSign. We have Facebook connection. So this Facebook connection just allow you to post and schedule posts to Facebook through Command. And so essentially what you can do, if you joined any of my other classes, what you can do is you can schedule, so let's say you sit down on a Sunday, you can schedule out all of your posts. So you can create all of your posts and schedule them for the week, in the week coming, or for the whole month, or for the next quarter. You can schedule out all your posts and then you hit submit, and every single time that there's supposed to be a post, it'll just post it, and it makes it look like you're very active. But what it's doing is it's creating you leverage and taking something off of your plate. So you don't have to think about, well, did I post today or what did I post? I mean, it's very scheduled, it's very regimented, how you would move forward with that. And so that's what this Facebook scheduling connection would do. It would allow you to schedule your posts and to put those on the calendar effectively and move forward with that. And so the next is the Google Calendar and Gmail. So these two are connecting your calendar to Command and connecting your Gmail to Command. And what this does is, if there's any meetings or anything that takes place, it will be connected to your Command, and it's easier for you to set up tasks and make sure that things between Command and your calendar are in sync, so that whether you're looking at your phone or whether you're looking at Command, you're fully aware of all your commitments. Same with Gmail. So if you have an email account in your client, let's say you have a client and you have their email address, and let's say you're in Gmail or in your KW account and you write them an email, well, because that email is connected through Command, now it will track the emails that you've sent to all of your clients. And so what you would do is you would come into your contact list for your database, and when you open up that contact card for your client, you can see all of the interactions that you've had back and forth with your clients. And so that, once again, that puts your Gmail in one place. So you don't have to keep bouncing between two or three different tools to kind of find out, where you left off with your client. You can just pull it all up in that one contact. And lastly, I have Twilio. So Twilio is one of the few paid services that are offered through Command. And essentially what Twilio does, it enables you to automatically send text messages through Command. And so where this is beneficial is if you are, let's say you've set your client up on a smart plan, and the smart plan requires that you send out a text. You can go into that smart plan and you can say, okay, this is what at this stage, this is what I want the text to say, and it will send the text out to your client. Now, to be fair, I should warn you that the way that this works is that right now, and I think that they're working on, making it a little better for us and a little more user-friendly, but the way that it works now, if you decide to use this, is that it goes out from a different phone number than your phone number. So in your text, you're going to have to make sure that you're saying, this is Haywood or this is Stephanie, and to make sure they know who it is. And when they respond back to that text message, you're going to get a notification in your notification bell right here. And so it'll say that, this person has just responded to your text or something like that. And so then once that happens, then you can then text them from your phone number. So it is a little disjointed, but really what the focus is it keeps them top of mind. It keeps you top of mind to them. And also another use of this is when you could put your whole database on, a 90-day, touch. And so essentially what you could do is within 90 days, it'll automatically send out text messages just to say hello or whatever. And it gets the ball rolling so that when you get that response back, then you can start texting them and it will hopefully in the future feel a little more seamless. But yes, that's the whole idea, is to make sure that you're keeping in contact with your database, and they want to make sure that you're doing it in an automated fashion where even if you're doing something else and you get a text back from your client, you can also, or your friend or whoever family member, you can always, write them back and start that conversation. Okay. Are there any questions about what I've shared so far?
I have a question.
Sure. Hi, Julie.
Hi. On Twilio, so I know that I've gotten text message responses, but I'm not really following up with them because I didn't really know where to find them. And so how do we know what the phone number is that Twilio is using, and do we have the capability to change that or pay for a different phone number or something?
Yeah, so you do. And so that's a really good question. So the way that it's set up, because we are under KWRI's Twilio account, the number that it comes from is going to have an Austin, Texas area code. And so you can pay Twilio $1 a month to get a local area code. And I'm not certain if I would assume that it comes from that same number all the time. But I will have to double check on that. But I do know that it would be a local number that it's coming from. And that's as far as they've gotten so far. And that would cost you $12 a year for that. But and there are people who are deciding to do that.
Okay, and then we just go on our Twilio account and set that up, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So you'd log into your Twilio account and go ahead and set that up.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So we've talked about digital signature and transactions. Like I said, if you like .loop a lot better, this is, you can go ahead and connect your .loop and disconnect DocuSign. Really, really as it stands for digital signatures, if you're a fan of AuthentiSign or you use ZipForms or whatever you use, you can totally stick with that. There's no real need to move to DocuSign if you're having issues with that. Because really all of the compliance happens through command. And so if you are using, other signing platforms, all you would have to do is just download, those documents from your platform and then just upload them to command. And so, that would be the easiest thing for your business. And if you do like DocuSign, it's just a little easier to transition your forms from there to command. But like I said, it's still around the same, type of interaction that you would have for any other platform that you're using. So you definitely just use whatever works for you, and then just move forward. But you just have to know that all of your documents are gonna have to be downloaded and uploaded. But that's the biggest issue, the biggest difference between using your platform and using DocuSign. Social. So there are people who are using other platforms, and the one that we've connected to outside of Facebook is Twitter. So you can, if you tweet a lot and you use that for your business, then definitely you can connect your business Twitter account to this, and you can also do post scheduling. I do not have mine connected because I don't tweet a lot, sadly. So I thought that there was probably no need for me to kind of connect that. Under productivity, you do have eEdge. So if you had an eEdge account, so eEdge was the database that was promoted through Keller Williams back before Command. And so a lot of us who were using eEdge, we had a lot of contacts in there. And so when Command first came out, I think it's still there as well, you could connect your eEdge account to Command, and it would automatically pull all of your contacts over into Command. And then if you added anything to eEdge after that automatic transition, then it'll automatically sync between the two. So you could still use both until you felt comfortable with Command, and then you could cut off the use of eEdge. And so if you're using eEdge, I think that it's still supported, but I just started putting more and more of my contacts in Command, so I don't have it connected, but you can definitely connect yours if you still have that. So PieSync. PieSync is so what this is going to do is, one, it allows you to sync your contacts so you could have contacts in a bunch of different applications. And so what it does is allows you to sync those applications to Command to actually pull your contacts into your database, okay? So it was, this is something where they keep adding applications as people start asking for more and more. They'll add those, and there's a process for asking for a certain application to be added to PieSync. But what I would do is just go on and take a look to see what's there. And you may be surprised that there are a lot of applications that you're using that you can hook up to your Command to sync your application or to sync your contacts from. Now, if you're using Office 365, you can sync that up with Command as well. I don't have 365, so I don't have that connected, but it is an option for you. And we're getting down to marketing automation. So if anybody's attended my classes on campaigns, this is the way that you can actually, so when you're doing the campaigns, you're developing one, and you're looking to do directed marketing through Facebook or through Twitter or through Google, this is how it's actually done. So this is the connection that you would need to actually have everything go out to Facebook or through Google or to Twitter. Okay, so you'd have to connect your account, and if you don't have an account, you can go ahead and create an account and then connect it. Okay. And last but not least, the email services. And so right now, we are using MailChimp to do the email campaigns. If you came to my class last week or a couple of weeks ago, we would have discussed some of the challenges with MailChimp. And so as a result of that, Keller Williams has created their own email accounts. And so if you go in, everybody has already been signed up by default. And so what's going to happen in the future is that all of your email campaigns, and if you want to email to doing bulk emails, you would do that through Command Email. And so what you'll see here is that the first 5,000 are free. And then, so the first 5,000 each month are free. Once you go to 5,001, then you'll start to pay. And if you're sending out more than 5,000 emails in a month, then what they suggest, so when we come up here to more integrations, what they suggest is, let's see if I can find it. What's that? Collaboration and productivity. No, not that. Oh, email and marketing. Okay, so what they suggest is, yeah, command mail. And you can get a plan starting at $10 per month. And that will allow you to send as many emails as you'd like. Let me see if they have the plans here, pricing. So yeah, so if you're doing 10,000 emails a month, then you can do the $9.99 plan, and they go all the way up to 40,000 emails for $55 a month. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. They go up to 50,000 emails for $70 a month. You know, I think it's a business decision, you know, whether you're sending that many emails. So you'd have to definitely, you know, figure this out, you know, on your side. And I do think that there is a charge that they're charging you for going over, you know, the 5,000. And so you'd have to weigh out, you know, if it's worth you, you know, paying this or just paying the overage charge for going over 5,000. Because if you're only sending out, you know, 5,100 emails a month, then it probably doesn't, you know, it's probably not worth you paying this. But, you know, you have to determine that on your side and do that analysis. All right. So yeah. So at some time in the near future, I would say in the next month or so, you'll start to see more emails come out about the fact that, you know, email campaigns has now switched over to command email. Okay. So are there any questions on anything that I've gone over so far before I move over to command settings or connect settings? Yes.
Hey, could you show us what it looks like when you manage the Facebook? Because when I click on it, it just gives me an option to disconnect. Is there for the post schedule? Yeah, right there.
So yeah, I think that when you say manage Facebook connection, really that's what they mean is to connect it or not. So really your options here are to connect it or disconnect it. And so I think that's pretty much all you're going to see there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because really all the actual work happens in the campaign when you're trying to schedule everything. And really here, it's just about, are you connected to Facebook or not?
Oh, okay. So you schedule it through campaigns and.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So let's see. So you come down to campaigns, and then you would create a new campaign here and then social post. And so this will be the social post. This other one, these are going to be your paid ads through Twitter, Facebook, and you can also, if you've created an Instagram account and it's tied to your Facebook, they'll allow you to do a social ad through Facebook and then post it as well on Instagram. So you'd have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook here, and then you would have your Google AdWords. You'd have that through here. And so what you were asking about, the social post, that's actually here.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's where you manage the frequency, the weekly or monthly.
Exactly. And it's pretty cool because they allow you to create everything in designs. And then so you can create your actual post in design, like the picture and everything that you wanted to say in the same feel. And you can create it for Facebook, and then you save it. And then they'd ask you, you know, when you get into the campaign, they'd ask you, what, what you'd like to post, and you can pull from your database of things you created, and you can say, I want to post this at this time, and you can put another message under that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, so we'll go back to settings really quick. And so the next thing I'd like to show is your under Connect, you have a marketing profile. And the marketing profile is extremely important, because whether you are doing a campaign, or if you're doing a postcard, if you're doing a direct mail campaign, or you're creating postcards, or even your agent site, it's pulling different pieces of information from your marketing profile. And so what it's there to do is that you fill this marketing profile out once, and then you would, upload it. So you'd upload it once, and then whenever you're doing something on command, it's going to pull the information it needs from this marketing profile. And so there are a couple of things that I have to actually change in here, like this, 781. But as information changes for you, you can go through and put in that information. And so, for instance, since command has started, I've joined a team, and so I would have to change, my logo from my personal logo, my business logo, to the team's logo. So there are definitely things that you would have to manage. If your bio changes, which mine is changing, I just wrote another one, I'll have to upload that here. And so really, what the idea is that when you put in this information, it's going to pull it. And if the information is not correct, then this is the one place that you go to change all your information. Okay. So yeah, if you have designations or anything, let's say you have the designation, and you sell to a lot of military clients. They have a designation for that. Same thing for luxury, same thing for land. If you're a commercial agent, I believe that there's a designation for that as well. So you can just enter all of that in here. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know your market center number, you can ask the front desk. I know that Old Town is 781, and I believe it's Arlington that's 726. In Tyson's Corner, I'm not certain about, but you can always ask your DOFI, and they should be able to tell you. And that's Director of First Impression, for anyone who didn't know that. Yeah, so I have to add a legal footer here, which would be the Fair Housing logo. So that's something that you'd have to definitely upload here, that I have to put out. And if you're using Facebook pixels or ads, and this helps with targeting your ad campaigns a little bit better, then you can add that here. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can definitely Google it. I have not done much of that, but I know that there's extensive research, and there's a lot of things that people have done to get better traction on their Facebook ads. So you may want to do that. Same thing if you're using Google AdWords, then you may want to figure out the Google Analytics tracking IDs. Now, your KW app, it's branded to you. And so they call this a slug, this last piece. That is unique to every single agent. So every single agent has a different slug there. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that this has all of that in there. And where you would get this from, and where you can make sure that this is correct, is when you first join the office, there's an email that came from your ASC, and that email should say at the bottom what your KW app link is. And if you can't find that email, definitely call your front desk and see if they can get that resent to you. Okay. So that's your Connect settings. Now, they do have a Kelly guide here in the top right corner, and it's there to kind of, kind of push you through the whole process. So if you click Get Started, and this is essentially what we had for when we started Smart Plans, it'll take you through, it'll ask you, what do you want your branded header to look like? You go through About You, then hit Next. So you can, click through all of that. If you have social media platforms, like for instance, some people market on LinkedIn, market themselves on LinkedIn. If you do that for your business, definitely put that in so people can find you there. Your app is at the bottom. You have the legal footer, which I've said I definitely need to update that. Configuring your accounts. So, excuse me, my email account, they have my name as Haywood Barney, and my email is that. If it was something different. So what this means is that the email from a Smart Plan will go out as non-reply. But really, if you wanted to say something else, you could put in your name and it'll show as Haywood Barney, or it'll show as your name. And then when they reply to that email, if they do, it'll come back to the email account that you have set up for your business. Okay, so they've actually closed that loop. And even though it's going out from one email address, it's actually coming back to your email address. Okay, so that's a little easier for you to track. And the fact that you've already had your email account, your Gmail account connected to Command, then that's also helping with the tracking between, the communication between you and your clients. Okay. So this is not a Smart Plans class, but if you go through this, Kelly guides, it will, help you interact with your Smart Plans. It'll introduce you to everything that's there out of the box. You'll see over here, I have a bunch of different Smart Plans that I've created. So it'll show me those as well. So everything that I've created. And it'll give you a summary, okay? So then they'll have different things. So they'll have, another thing that they can shoot you off into. So if you actually wanted to play with the IDX for your agent site, you can go there. Or if you wanted to play around and add more Smart Plans, you could do that. Or if you wanted to check out new templates that you could either put into a campaign or a landing page or email out, you could go to designs and kind of play around with that. Okay. So after you've gotten your marketing profile, then they show you the different areas where this marketing profile will help you out and will provide value and benefit to you and your business. Okay. Are there any questions up until this point?
Haywood.
Yes. Fairy, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much. If you wanted to choose pricing, and there is so many choices, do you have any recommendation which one works better, or when I go there, I get confused which one to choose. So
For PieSync?
yeah,
Okay. Trying to remember how I actually. So
options. Yeah.
yeah, so these options, essentially what PieSync is doing is it's connecting other applications that you may be using to your command. And so
Like,
essentially, I'm sorry?
like if I use Real Scout, okay, for
Yes.
CRM, it will connect that to.
Well, yeah, so technically it should, but Real Scout, I don't think is, yeah. So Real Scout is not, it's not going to be an application. And so
Okay.
there's another way.
So what we can
I'm sorry.
in PieSync, what we can connect together is a different application. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so these are going to be applications that Keller Williams has already gone through and vetted. And well, they've been identified by other agents that this is what we use, and Keller Williams has vetted it, and then they've made it easy for you to sync. And so that's what you're seeing here. So like, for instance, Brivity, there are some people that are using Brivity. And so they've made it easy for you to sync, or the same thing with Boomtown. They've made it for you to sync, that platform to this so that your contacts can come over easily. And same thing with BombBomb. So they're a bunch of different things. So the best way to use this is to put in at the top, what your service is and to see if it's here. Otherwise, you can go through and take a look. Like for instance, I use HubSpot a lot for their CRM with eEdge. So I could connect my HubSpot account to this. But you can go through, that's the best way. Now, if you wanted to connect Real Scout to this, you can still connect it, but it's a few steps. And I can, if you want to, maybe I should have a tech hour on that. But you would be connecting through Zapier, which is a free application. And so essentially Zapier is here to connect any two platforms together. And so if we don't find our app that we want to connect to command on this list, we can connect it through Zapier. And there's a couple of them that I've connected so far, including Real Scout. And so I can have a class on that to kind of show everyone how to do that. And it would be the same way through all of the applications that are not on this list. So anything that you're using that may have a group of people that you're communicating with that you'd like to bring in to your database, you can do that with, or if that you're adding to.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The class would be very helpful.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because I think I am going to put that in for next month. So for our July classes, I'll definitely have I may have a couple of classes on that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, with 2 quick questions.
Sure.
So the photo, I must be missing a step or something because my photo doesn't show up on this. And then the second question is, where did you go to? I missed a click where you went to where you set up the heading and you added LinkedIn.
Okay, where I added LinkedIn. Okay. Yeah. So you have to go to marketing profile here. So click on Connect Settings, because this is technically under KW Connect. This piece of it, and this marketing profile that we're putting in here is under KW Connect, and Command pulls from that. And I believe that's where, you know, all of the other, like anything else that's online about you comes from this marketing profile as well. I think that that's where they're trying to push everything to. Because in the past, you know, we've had situations where there are 3 or 4 places where information is, and it's hard for us to find out where we need to change the information to make it correct online. So they're trying to consolidate everything and just have that one place. And that's what I believe this marketing profile is about. So the photo that's showing up here in the top right corner is this photo under the marketing profile. And scrolling down to the bottom is where you have the LinkedIn. And so essentially what this is going to do is on your website and on any other marketing that you have out there, it'll have your social, you know, all your social links. And so if you have this filled in, then they'll have a thumbnail for LinkedIn, and people can click on that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, are there any more questions? Okay, well, thank you for coming to the class today. Hopefully it's been helpful to everyone. I'm gonna put in my email address in the chat. And if anyone has questions, if there's anything that they have a question about, or if you'd like to do a one-on-one, you can definitely contact me and we'll get you set up with one. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming, and hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Haywood.